we're gonna take off this sugar feeder today because they should be out foraging and making plenty of their own at this point. Um, so we'll go ahead and take that. We're just gonna open them up and kind of see how full they are and determine if we want to add a second deep box for our brood as well.
I can hold this.
You could just set it down if you want somewhere. So this is called a ventilation box. It does exactly what it says it does. It ventilates it in the summer, gives fresh air without allowing them to have any extra space to build comb in it. That's what this screen is for. And then in the winter time, to provide extra warmth and moisture control, we fill these boxes with wood chips. We'll take this out. All right. So we're kind of just determining today if we're going to bring a second deep box into these hives. Oh wow, they look great. Look at that.
Nice and healthy.
Thriving. I think we might be bringing a second box to this hive for sure. All right, so I've kind of checkerboarded my panels here, my frames, because they were not really filling my outer frames, and we want a nice full box. So you can see how shiny it is. That's all nectar. That's going to be honey. They're making that into honey. So that's great because this is the outermost frame. That tells me that they are building all the way out here. So let's pull this one next. So this is one of the checkerboarded ones that I just put in from the outer frame. You can see they haven't done much with it, but it does look like they're doing some wax repairing, which is great. That's exactly what they should be doing. This one looks very full, so I want to pull that one next. This guy down here. I'm kind of thinking our queen might be right here. I see a lot of bees on this frame. I feel like this is around where I normally find her. Not as many bees in here as it looks when you open it. This looks like some nectar. A little bit of capped honey there. That's some really beautiful comb though. They're filling that top with nectar and honey. You can see where they've capped some of it. I don't think I'm going to be bringing a second box here right now. I don't feel that they are a large enough colony. I think that a second box too soon is going to be more detrimental than good. Right. So this is kind of an experimental frame I left in here that was unwaxed. So you can see that this side they really haven't made much progress on. And this side they have made quite a bit of progress on, but it's definitely taken quite a bit of time. And this was one unwaxed frame that I left. I replaced last week some of our unwaxed frames with frames that have more wax. We got some funky comb going on right here at the top. I always kind of love those little bits. Get out of there, babes. So you can see those are drone cells right there. Hold on, let me get a better grip. So these right here are drone cells that are kind of protruding out the top a little bit farther. And then all of these flatter looking cells are worker bee cells. You can get up in here and you can see that there's some larvae inside of there. The bees with their heads down in are depositing their nectar into the comb. They did develop a little bit of a funky, like burr comb kind of thing going on here. I dig the tunnel system. I'm gonna let them keep it. I think it's quite beautiful. So it doesn't really interfere with my work. Very cool. Now I do have to say it is midday, so a lot of our workers should be out foraging. It's beautiful outside, but I still don't think we're gonna put another deep on this yet. Slow and steady wins the race every time. Unless it's running, I suppose. So this is all capped brood. Looks like probably some old brood. These are mostly repurposed frames, so some of this is still just old that the bees have been repurposing. That's a lot of beautiful brood here. And in all of our spaces that we have open cells, we have larvae. So that is a sign of a healthy, good laying queen. Getting sticky. Ooh, sorry.
Yeah, they're getting.
Feeling a little spicy now.
They are spicy, that's for sure.
Sometimes you just have to remind them that even though you're opening up their colony and you're touching their children, oh no. We're gonna cut that part out. Even though you're opening up their colony and like you're looking at their eggs and their babies and stuff, you're looking at their queen. I mean, it makes sense. This is their job. So slow and steady. Because when you're slow and steady, I mean, You can pick this up. You don't need gloves. It's just highly recommended because they do sting. I prefer to wear full suit. Alright, I see some larvae in this one. Some brood. Pretty empty. Some drone larvae. Let me look at that one. That almost looks like a cell. Nope, that's just a hole in the foam. All right, so this one was actually really cool because this is a wire foundation frame, and when I put this foundation in, it was full of holes. So the bees have repaired it and begun to lay in it, and it's almost completely fixed. So that's very cool. Making wax is a biological process that's based on age. Only the young new bees make wax, and they make it on their, I'm getting stung. They make it right there. They have wax secreting glands. So they make like 6 to 8 flakes of wax at a time. And that is how they make their, oh, poor guy. And that's how they make their comb. Right. Oh, did I already pull this one?
I think so.
So these inner ones are looking really great. Still haven't seen my queen, but she's clearly in there. I see larvae. There's no emergency cells. There's no swarm cells, no supersedure cells. So it doesn't look like they're trying to requeen at all. So she's got to be in here somewhere. So all of this beautiful white wax, totally fresh, clean wax. Got some brood there in the middle, some honey at the top, nectar over here with this big clump of bees. Just so beautiful. All right. Well, we're getting down to our last 2 frames. It's not overly concerning. I see the queen every time I'm here. So sometimes I don't on the other hive, but I have seen signs of her laying, so. I just crushed somebody. So this is our small hive beetle traps. Totally empty. I did not suspect small hive beetles at all. It's more just like a precautionary tale of, I do have a wooded apiary back here, so give them a little bit of a defense against them before it becomes a problem. Get out of there, babes. Come on. All right, there we go. All right, last 2 frames. Oh, cool. So this is our cut comb. This is the rescue comb. See how they've chewed off the rubber bands and they have affixed it themselves to the frame. And all of the white comb is the fresh comb that they have added to it. There's our queen right there. She's the right. Oh, there she is. Stunning. They really are just like completely different from a worker bee, from a standard honeybee. There's just no mistaking her. I mean, obviously my queen is marked. It's more for educational purposes. To learn how to more easily spy a queen, but also because I bring my kids out here for homeschool and I would like them to be able to safely identify a queen. It's a great skill to have in beekeeping. All right, last frame is their brand new frame with fresh wax. Doesn't look like they've touched it yet, but that's fine. They've got plenty of other stuff that they're working on. We're actually gonna pop this one in here. Do a little bit of a split so that they are encouraged to draw on this one and start expanding and laying brood more here. Since we know the queen is here, they'll have to draw their comb and such. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tidy these frames back up, and they don't like it when you're a little hard. You have to just really kind of like maneuver. You're corralling livestock, you know, I mean, bees, it's considered livestock. And if you watch the patterns of corralling bees and swarms, it is a very similar pattern to corralling sheep. And, you know, they're going to go where their queen goes. She makes all of the rules. She determines everything about them. Their aggressiveness, how well they store resources, how well they make comb, how well they forage. All of that is up to the queen, and she really has like the most say in the hive. She is the most important, of course. All right, I am going to close this hive up. I do my best to have minimal carnage upon resealing, but unfortunately, a few squished bees always seem to find their way in the corners. I'm going to go ahead and take this. We don't need the feeder anymore. We don't want to encourage any robbing. And I'm going to leave my entrance reducer here. But it is just absolutely beautiful weather here in Michigan right now, so I don't believe it's necessary to keep it on at the moment. If it starts to cool down, then we'll come back out and pop it on.